Hello, friends. So, in the last video, we discussed about the major components of placement preparation and the in depth discussion of aptitude. The parts of the aptitude was also done. Now, we will go to the second part of the placement preparation, that is soft skills, right? So the soft skills is all about your all about the your communication skills, uh, your way of representing yourself in front of the interviewer or the HR, right? But the major things that are being used as a soft skill, as the part of soft skills in the placement process, is the group discussion, personal interview, and the CV formation. So these are the three integral parts of soft skills which are used in each and every placement drive, right? So, at least personal interview and CV formation would be used in each drive, right? There may be some drives, there may be some companies which won't take your group discussions, right? So, this is an optional thing that can be there in the drive, or it can not be there. But personal interviews, this is an optional thing, but personal interview and CV formation would be the two things that would be required, right? Okay, so what is group discussion? Group discussion, I hope you have heard this name. So, several people, around maybe 5 to 10 people at once, taken at once, and they discuss on a topic which is, which is very much familiar to all of them. The topic is given randomly by the HR, and the way everyone speaks about that topic, the way the students show their confidence about that topic is what matters in the group discussion, right? So a GD expert, the HR that takes the group discussion of the students, is there to monitor who is speaking, how much is he speaking, uh, whether he or she is speaking correctly or incorrectly, and how much confident he is while speaking, right? So all these things measure the group discussions, right? And then they announce the result, and there is a case when there happens it happens sometimes that the complete lot of the complete group of the GD is discarded sometimes because they may have been involved in negative talks. They may have uh, you know uh, uh, they may have had a fight between themselves. So there is a possibility then that all the people in the group can be discarded, and not because of your individual mistake, but because of the others mistake as well, right? So professionalism starts from this part of the placement process, and in the GD you need to be very professional, very polite, professional, and you have to take care of all the things that can affect the HR in terms of soft skills, right? So that is about the group discussion. Then we have personal interviews. So as you all should know that no company hires anyone without personal interviews, right? And there may be a confusion that if you answer all the questions in the personal interviews, whether they are technical or based on the aptitude and logical thinking, so if you answer all the questions in the personal interview, it is believed that yeah, your interview has gone very good, and you have all the you have all the chances to get placed in that company. But that is not always correct, because in the personal interviews, not just your knowledge and not just your answering skills are noted, but also the way you sit in the interview, the way you interact with the interviewer, the confidence that you carry in the interview. Sometimes it happens that even if the answers are wrong, then also because the person is confidently answering something, so on the basis of the confidence only, they select the students, they select the candidates, right? So the personal interview, your personal interview actually starts the from the point you knock on the door, right? The way you take the chair, the way you put your file, the way you carry yourself, the way you the way you put your hands on the desk, and the way you move your eyes, the eye contact, the communication skills, all that matters in the personal interview, right? So therefore it makes soft skills a very very important part of the placement process, right? And the third and very important part of the placement of the soft skills is CV formation, right? As you should know that in most of the companies and for the most of the HRs, your CV is the first thing that goes to the HR. You are being introduced to the HR through the CV only, right? So before you personally reach the HR, your CV reaches there, right? So if your CV is not up to the mark, the HR will not be interested in calling you. Okay? The CV is the first impression that is being put on the HR. Getting my point? So, generally, in a drive, we have first of all, if a company comes, so then you will find the HRs giving the presentations about what the company does, about how will you be hired, and how will the things be there in while you join that company, right? Your salary part, your environment in the company, the environment in the company, right? All those things are being discussed first when a company comes to campus for an for a recruitment process, right? And then then the students generally go for written test, and after written test, all your CVs are collected and your CVs are sent to the HRs. Now then, before you have actually gone to the HR, your CV is already on their desk, right? And if the CV doesn't contains the impressive things, the points that can impress the HR, if the CV doesn't have those things, then it would be discarded within 30 seconds. You know, the average time the average time an HR actually views your CV is around 15 to 20 seconds. That's it. I may be on a higher side as well. Even less time, even for the less time, maybe for 5 or 10 seconds also, an HR can discard the CV, right? So that is your first expression, and that has to be a good one. So, CV formation is also a part of soft skills. And if you want to go through, if you want to make it uh, through the placement process, then CV formation has to be at a very good place. Okay, so this was all about soft skills. Now, the next slide is about technical skills. Uh, okay, so in the technical skills, what do you need to get through the placement process? These are the requirement that I would suggest you that these, if you know the coding languages, if you are from I'll just explain this. But if you know the coding languages, if you have some knowledge, and if you have sincerely worked on your internships and projects, then you don't need to worry about your technical interview at all. You will get through it, definitely, right? Okay, now let's break down this coding language. If you are from CS or IT branch or any of these other soft branch, majorly these are the only soft branches, right? But if you are from CS and IT, you need to have at least two coding language. You need to learn at least two coding language. One coding language will not work, right? And among those two coding language, one has to be C generally, right? Other can be Python or Java or any other language, right? I don't know much about these coding languages, but if you are a CSIT student, you need to learn two coding language at least. Okay, right? And this coding language would be applicable only for the software based companies, right? Or only on the IT companies that we say, right? If you are not applying for the IT companies, then this will not be required. Only the domain knowledge, you have to be strong at your domain knowledge, and you have to be strong presenting your internships and projects, right? So this is the thing. Right. So if CSIT is applying to their core field, that is the software industry, then you need to have at least two coding language in your bag, right? But if any other branch, EC, electrical, mechanical, civil, or any other branch applies in the software company, if any other branch, if these students from any other branch applies in the software company, then they may afford to have only one coding language, that is C, right? If you are from non CSIT branch and you have a good command on C language, then it would be enough. The HR also understand that uh, the person coming from mechanical or electrical or EC background doesn't have the access to all the coding language. The Java and the Python language are not taught to them, right? But C is the basic language that is being taught in the first year only, right? So therefore the HR would expect you to learn or to to have a little bit of idea about C language, right? For the other branches and for the other courses, this first point is irrelevant, right? For maybe BBA, MBA, right, and BSc, BCom, and other graduations, this first point, coding language, is irrelevant. They need to have a very good domain language and the internships and projects with them in the bag, right? Now, let's come to the other part, the domain language. Sorry, the domain knowledge. So domain knowledge is that you have collected in your graduation. So out of the if an HR asks you five questions on your domain, suppose if you are from MBA, so he will ask you something from your subjects from MBA. If you are from BTech, he can ask you anything from the first year to fourth year from the BTech, right? But if five question has been asked, so the HR doesn't expect you to answer all the five questions, right? Even if you answer three questions, you would be through, right? Obviously, because a student cannot learn all the five questions asked from different years of their graduation. Suppose one question is from first year, two questions are from second year, then one from third year. So a student cannot the HR also understand that the student cannot learn everything from first year onwards. So out of the five question, they will expect you to answer three questions, at least three questions, right? And three, four questions would be good enough. Even if you say, even if you don't know, the answer for one or two questions, still you have a lot chances to get selected, right? Then comes the internships and projects. So students, most of these students actually what they do is they bring the certificate from some of the organization for internships, and they buy projects, they buy ready-made projects, right? That is the most illogical thing to do, because if you think that the HR will not catch what internships you have done, and what projects you have done, and what you have just written in the CV without working anything on it. So if you think the HR is fool, then he is not, right? He has an experience of multiple projects. The HR generally encounters the fake projects, fake internships, right? So he actually knows when the certificate and when the idea of the project is presented to the HR, he actually knows whether that internship is genuine or not. So do not try to manipulate this the HR in terms of internships and projects. Work on these two things very sincerely, right? If you want to get through, do not buy the project even if it is very technical and very good project, but do not buy it. Prefer to develop a project even if it is a small one, right? Similar cases with the internship. Do not buy the certificate having a lot of having a brand, but having a brand name on the certificate, but you haven't worked there. So that actually makes it negative. Suppose you get a certificate from BHEL, right, for the internship. Okay, so this is actually a negative thing if you haven't worked in that training. Okay, because this name BHEL is very much famous for distributing certificates without any work, right? So the HR actually knows which organization is genuine and which organization would be giving the certificate to anyone who registers for the organization, right? So a lot of things we would discuss in the upcoming videos, right? So for now, I'm ending this video. Okay, so that's it from my side in this video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.